What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with the review for The Oval on BET, season 4, you guys, right? Season 4, episode 4. The episode was titled Wicked. So, before we just go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel, you guys, and you guys aren't subscribed, do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, sharing the video, thumbs up the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss The Oval, shall we? All right, you guys, this episode, we open up where the last one ended with Victoria and the vice president having sex with each other, right? So Eli wants to know from Victoria, how long are they going to have to keep this up? And Victoria's like, basically talking about the optics of, her leaving Hunter and him leaving Sloan, right? It just wasn't, it wouldn't look too good, right? So she says they have to keep the plan. Now here's why I'm confused about this plan. Because there were two things in this episode that confused me. This is one of them. So Victoria and him, they've been having an affair with each other for years at this point, right? So Eli tells her that they still have an issue when it comes down to Priscilla and the fact that all of them are going to be coming over to his house to tell him what they have. And this is where the confusion comes in for me. He's playing them, which I get that, right? I get him playing them, but I think where I'm lost at with him playing them is the fact that he's playing them. But I thought his plan, his quote unquote plan, was to get Hunter out of the office, out of the office as the president, right? But I guess that plan is not what we thought it was. So if that's not the plan, what's the actual plan? Him and Victoria are still sleeping together in secret. So I'm puzzled by what the plan is. So yeah, he's going to continue to play Priscilla, Sam, Richard, everybody, right? But what was the purpose in you wanting to meet Sharon? How does all of this, Tyler, please make this make sense to me, right? So Eli also tells Victoria that, like I said, he's going to continue to play them and steer them to the truth. What's the truth? I was confused. So he tells her about Sam, getting shot and he's in the hospital. And she was upset. He was like, oh, you're upset. So he knows she had sex with him. She made a crack at Sam being short. I'm like, but you were the one that was throwing yourself at him. He wasn't that short when you was trying to get on your knees and suck his penis. But okay, Victoria. So they eventually, left from each other. So then the White House doctor went to go see Hunter, right? So Hunter wants to know basically about Jason and how did Jason die. The White House doctor told him that it was from the fall. So Hunter says he wants an autopsy performed. And the White House doctor was like, well, we can't perform an autopsy because your wife had him cremated. I was like, damn, she had someone else's child cremated. So Hunter is pissed off, right? So Hunter's like, he wants to know how Jason died. So the doctor's like, well, we can do a toxicology. And I'm like, a toxicology? That's to see what was in his system. And okay. From what I thought a toxicology was to see what was in a person's blood panel, right? That's what a toxicology is. A toxicology doesn't necessarily tell you the cause of death. A toxicology is just to figure out what was in their body. I'm not a doctor, so I can't be for sure about that, but I'm 5% positive that I'm right about that. The other 95% I'm not, but I'm not that positive. So Hunter orders him to do the toxicology report and get it back to him. Again, toxicology. Let's pause here and move forward. All right, you guys, so next we move over to Bobby and Max. So Bobby and Max, they are now sitting still outside of Donald's home, right? So you guys remember in last week's episode that Donald got, the call. The Secret Service got the call that Eli was going over to the White House, right? So remember, they pulled some of the detail off, right? So there's still some detail on. Damn, I'm really tan. So there's still some detail on him, but it's still like, I think it's 8 men that's on him. You know what I'm saying? Um, Sorry, got a cramp in my back. Ow! So yeah, there are 8 men that are on Donald at this point. So Max is telling Bobby like, we can't take them out, and they are, they're brothers in, the armed forces, right? Armed services. So they have a bit of a back and forth conversation with that situation. So Bobby wants to take him out. Kyle says no. Like I said, back and forth. So then we move back over to the Three Stooges, minus one of the Three Stooges. So it's just Dale and it's Alan, right? They don't know where Kareem is, so they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do, right? So Alan, at this particular point, he's getting upset and frustrated with Dale. And I'm sorry, but Alan never put two and two together that Dale was gay. Dale has made so many, especially when Kareem was like, all three of y'all could sleep in that tent. Dale was giddy about that. You realize then that Dale was gay. So they're talking about Donald and asking, Alan is upset because he's like, you didn't get shot at. He's like, hello, but I did. He said, but they were rubber bullets, but he still got shot. Rubber bullet or not, I'm pretty positive that hurts, right? So, so Dale, so he's like, why would he shoot at you anyways? So he said, because he was talking to somebody, he was with somebody that he didn't like, that Donald wasn't too happy about. He's like, his wife. He was like, girl, no. He's like, well, she's beautiful. He says she's a woman. He was like, oh, my gaydar is usually right. I'm like, dude. He made a reference to him being gay subtly about you sleeping in the tent. Then when you woke up, he made another reference when you still didn't catch that he was gay. I was like, okay. And you didn't, but you know what can I be surprised about with Alan? Alan didn't even know that Donald was gay, but I mean, sorry, who would? I mean, after you saw him and Kyle together, common sense would have told him that, but never mind, neither here nor there. Let's pause here and let's move forward. So we're over to Sloan and Eli's house, right? You guys remember that the night before, not Priscilla, but Nancy and Sharon stayed there, right? So they go downstairs. So Nancy is asking Sloan, has anybody heard from Richard? She says no, he never came back. So Nancy says, you know what, I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna call him, right? So they left Sharon and Sloan to talk. So they were talking, and Sharon just wants to know when this is gonna be over. And Sloan is telling her, you can trust my husband. He's a very good lawyer. Okay, girlfriend, if you say so. So Nancy called Richard, right? So when she called Richard up, she was asking him where he was. He said he's at the hospital with Sam. She says, how is Sam? He said, I just got here. He says, but I'll give you a call back, right? So then we see Richard. So Richard went into the room where Sam and Priscilla was, right? So Sam, Priscilla's telling Sam, not Sam, but Priscilla's telling Richard how Sam is so, antsy. He doesn't trust anybody. He thinks that the nurse that came in there was working with them, and how paranoid he is, right? So Sam tells Richard to get him up so he can, sit up. He wants to get out of the hospital. And Priscilla's like, no. But Richard obliged him, put his clothes on, and out the hospital they went, right? So before that, Sam asked Richard, did you see the package? He said, yes. He said, did you tell anybody about the package? He says, no. I'm so confused. Now, I'm still confused when it comes to Jason, right? I feel like we'll talk about Jason when I get to Jason. So yeah, let's pause here. Let's go ahead and move forward once again. You guys, here's the other thing that really frustrated me. It is Donald and Lily. I am so over Donald and Lily scenes at this point because they don't make any sense to me, right? So it's the next day, right? So Donald is saying, I thought your big boy toy was gonna come save you. You knew he wasn't once you dwindled it down to 8 people, he still can take them, right? I don't know how they're gonna take 4 people, but hey, it is what it is, right? So, mind you, Donald is dressed to go to the White House. I was like, Tyler, there is a discrepancy in this scene. Nobody who gets shot in the abdomen is going to be up and moving the way that Donald is up and moving currently. Donald is moving as if he didn't get shot, right? Granted, I know that the doctor gave him some pain pills, but those pain pills are not taking the pain away completely. The, those are not morphine pills. That's not morphine. So if he's not on morphine, and even when somebody gets, so let's just say you got shot, unless that bullet grazed Donald, but it didn't graze him. Lily shot him square on, so that bullet did not graze him. I would imagine that that bullet is still inside of Donald at this point, but you know what? This is Tyler Perry's world. I just don't understand the writing at times. Donald got shot. How is this man up and running? But he is. He is. He is. He is. He is. Right? So they had a big long conversation. Let's see how I can sum it up. He asked Lily where was she going. She said she just wanted to get away, right? Then, first of all, when Lily was talking about, I was like, Lily, are you trying to say that you would be Donald's beard? Because for a minute there, it really sounded like she was saying she would be his beard. Why? So he asked, so they, like I said, they were talking back and forth. He asked her if she told them, I'm assuming when he say them, he's meaning like Bobby and Max, if he told her about the president. She said no. He said no, right? She said no. You guys, I'm really over their scenes. I promise, I kid you not, I'm over those scenes. So, next up, let's talk about Max. So Max went over to Eli's crib, right? And he told him that Bobby is still at Donald. So Eli told him to go pick up Bobby. So after he left, Sloan came into the room, right? And they were talking, and he's telling her that he feels like they may have gotten in too deep over their heads, and that, they might have jumped the shark, right? So she says, where did you go last night? You didn't come back until this morning. He says he went to the White House, right? And then he says at the White House, he saw video that Jason did everything. And I was like, what video? What video do you have? I mean, we know that Jason is the one that unlived Gene. We know that Jason, I mean, pretty much everybody that's been unlived, we know that Jason was behind it. Denise, was that her name, you guys? Is that what that girl's name was? Denise, Ruth's sister? I feel like that's her name, Denise, but I could be wrong. You guys can correct me. Ruth's sister, I believe it's Denise, Jean, and Maud. The only person that Jason didn't unlive is that white woman. I cannot remember her name. The white woman, the white housekeeper that found Jean's body. That's the only one Jason didn't take out. Kyle went to the hospital and ended her life. Kyle suffocated that woman, and they gonna come up with, okay, never mind. So yeah, as far as everybody that's been taken out on this show, Jason is only behind behind 3 of them, right? Denise, Jean, and Maud. Those are the only 3. Kyle is responsible for the old white lady that worked at the White House. Victoria is behind Ellie. Who else has died on this show? I think that's it, right, you guys? If I'm wrong, we can discuss it in the comment section. I really don't want to, but we can. Oh my God, I am not finished with these notes. Oh, hell. Let's pause here and keep going. So you guys, let's move over to Jason Oh God, I still got some more to go. I'm really over this episode already. All right, so guys, so I'm gonna breeze through this scene with Jason and that guy that has him. Jason grabbed some kind of an instrument to, I guess, use against the guy. Jason and the guy started talking. The guy was basically trying to, trying to get Jason to trust him. But he told him, whatever it is that you picked up, put it back because it ain't gonna help you, right? So then Victoria, she's at the White House. She's in a great mood. She's giddy. Hunter comes in and he's like, why are you in such a good mood? Because she got some DICK last night from Eli, yo VP. But she won't say that, right? He was like, your son just died. And I'm like, Hunter, you know damn well, but I mean, if you didn't care that much, you know damn well that Victoria didn't give a rat's ass about Jason or Gail. Like, let's be real about that, right? So then, you guys, let's go ahead and move over to the next scene. So Kyle got to work, and Alonzo checked him in, and he asked Alonzo, "Has Sam been there?" He says no, right? So then he told Alonzo to go clock him in. So when Alonzo went to go clock him in, that's when he was talking to the guy Kane that talked to Alonzo on last week's episode, right? And he asked him, "Has Sam come in?" He says no. He said he is scheduled to come in, but they called in and said that Sam was taking some vacation days, right? So after that, Alonzo called Priscilla, telling her that Kyle is looking for Sam and that he's having Kane track him. And she's like, wait, don't talk about that here. Like, don't say anything else. Wait until I meet up with the VP and then I'll call you later, right? This VP storyline just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't, you guys. And I don't know. I can't fake it. I really can't, because that storyline in the beginning it made sense, but now that we know that him and Victoria are sleeping together and that he's supposed to be playing Sam, Richard, and Priscilla them, I just am confused about the situation because how are you playing them? What is your end game? If you weren't trying to be, because I mean, I thought your end game was to get Hunter out of office so that way you could be second in command, go from second in command to the president. But I'm confused now. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up, you guys. Let's wrap up this damn episode. So, you guys, Sam and Richard, they're in the car with each other, right? So, Richard wants to know if they're gonna go after Kyle, and Rich Sam is like, hell yeah, we'll get him. We will get him. So Richard then asks him, well, shouldn't the vice president know? And Sam says, but we got to be sure first. And I'm like, huh? Oh my God, this is just getting drastically worse. Drastically. I sometimes wonder, does Tyler remember the things that he writes into the show? We finna just segue, let's just, go off track just a little bit, right? I know that, was it last year or the year before when Tyler Perry took that picture with all those scripts that he wrote and he was prideful of that and he was talking about how he writes the shows in 2 weeks. We can tell in the writing and in the production of the show. And oftentimes I will say I've kind of noticed with some of his shows, I feel like some of his shows are very ad-libbed. I think that some of them are ad-libbed. And I'll tell you guys specifically how I can tell when one of his shows, two in particular actually, two of his shows are ad-libbed. And I know one character who is definitely ad-libbing some of the things that he does. Zach from Sisters and Zatima. Zach does ad-libs, if you guys haven't. I don't know if he's admitted to it or what, but I know from looking at the show sometimes, because if you see how Duvall acts in his real life, he's real funny. I follow him on Instagram. Some of the ways that Duvall acts on Instagram is some of the ways that Zach acts on Sisters and Zatima. I'm like, he gotta be ad-libbing some of these scenes, especially some of his scenes with Fatima. I feel like those are ad-libbed. So I feel like, yes, Tyler writes his shows in 2 weeks, and we can tell because some of your shows, like, you do repeat stories. Like, I know I didn't finish Zatima, and you guys, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not. I just don't want to go back and finish it. I'm sorry. I know I started reviewing it, but I just don't want to go back and finish that show. It was okay, but there were things that lost me because I know y'all said it, and I know that I saw the clip from Duvall that said that Sisters and Zatima are in two different quote unquote universes. But if you guys watched last week's episode of Sisters and compare that to Zatima, it's the same storyline. Although, like, you know what, I am gonna finish it. I'm probably gonna finish it in an. I just only have 3 episodes left as a team, so I'm gonna eventually finish it. And I'm probably gonna whenever I finish it, I'll tie it into a Sisters review, so that whatever week I finish it, we'll tie it into Sisters, and that Sisters review will just be extended with me discussing Zatima. That's what we'll do. Cause like I always have to say this. I have to say this. I have to say this because I don't want it to seem like I'm coming down hard on Tyler, which I'm not, because he does so much for black actors and actresses, right? He keeps them around, and I love that about him, right? I applaud him for that. But when I can applaud him for that, but I also have to be real with myself about how I feel about these shows. These shows are a slow burn, right? It's like a train wreck waiting to happen. It's like you're sitting at a train track and you're watching a slow moving train and a car sitting on a train track. And it's just like, you know that that's about to be an accident, but you can't turn your head away from it, right? It's just that bad. It's like really that bad to me, because the Oval, it didn't start out bad. It actually, in the beginning, it was really kind of good. Even with Sisters started out good, but the more we get into the show, it's like the writing is just not progressing for me. Sisters really started out very strong. Even the Oval started out strong because it was interesting. But right now, it's just like you can see things from some of his movies are being reenacted in some of his shows, like on Zatima, with the storyline between Fatima and her ex-boyfriend. He's already done that, where someone had cancer. Wasn't it Why Did I Get Married To? It was Why Did I Get Married To? Wasn't it Jill Scott's character, where her husband had been mistreating her? He left her, then he came back and found out he had cancer, then he died. Like, I think it's Why Did I Get Married? I'm pretty positive it's Why Did I Get Married To? It could be, you guys can correct me. I haven't watched that movie. Excuse me, I haven't watched that movie in quite some time, so I can't remember which one it is, and I can't remember whose character it was. But I'm almost positive. Yeah, I'm almost positive that's the one. I could be wrong. So, they talk about Barry. Richard said he couldn't find Barry, and why Barry may have left because of Kareem being at the house. Sam says he'll call him and he'll track him down. So then we move over to Donald's office, and Loverboy comes in there, right? Kyle tells Donald that he was locked up in the VP's bunker. And then, he says that Sam is probably meeting with the vice president right now. Tyler, this particular scene right here is where you lost me. So Donald has been fine this entire time, right? Mind you, he got shot in the abdomen. But then when Kyle goes in for a hug, that's when he's in pain. Okay. So Kyle finds out he got shot. He asked him who he was like, he was going to go after Bobby and Max. He says it wasn't them. He said it was Lily. So Kyle wants to go after Lily. Donald told him, leave her alone. So then the White House doctor comes in. This scene right here. Tyler, you really got some explaining to do with this scene. Like, how is this logical? Victoria was in the room with Jason. She saw Jason. Unless Jason has a twin out there that looks exactly like him, how in the hell did y'all replace him with a cancer patient? She suffocated him, didn't she? Whatever she did something to him. She suffocated, she injected him. I don't remember what Victoria did, but I know damn well that Jason was laying in that bed. There was no. Okay, Tyler. The White House doctor told Hunter that there is no way that person that was in that bed was their son. That's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. We can discuss it in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, you guys. Until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Just terrible. Terrible, you guys. We gotta be real with ourselves. Bye.